Imagine you could zoom in past the surface of your skin, down past the individual cells that make up your body, and into the dark, microscopic spaces between them. Down here, you'd find an entirely different world, populated by billions of tiny biological spaceships. These are prokaryotes. They are the oldest, toughest, and most adaptable living things on our planet. To understand how they operate, we have to look at how they store their instruction manual, their DNA. The cells that make up plants and animals keep their DNA safely locked away inside a heavy central vault called a nucleus. But in a prokaryote, there is no vault. The DNA is floating right out in the open. Skipping that central vault means there's one less physical barrier between the cell and its instructions. Because its genetic code is so accessible, the cell can read its data and copy itself much faster than a complex animal cell ever could, making it a high-speed survival machine. Because they are so small, usually between 0.1 and 5 micrometers across, these cells have to carry all their survival gear directly on their outer surface, like a specialized spacesuit. This diagram shows a typical bacterium. The rigid cell wall and thick capsule form protective armor. Inside, ribosomes build proteins, while the central nucleoid holds its genetic code. A long flagellum propels the cell, and short pili act as grappling hooks to anchor it. By ditching specialized internal machinery and relying on this streamlined set of tools, the cell becomes a highly efficient machine. It needs fewer resources to run, which allows it to thrive in places where more complex life would starve. That basic design has been so successful that over billions of years it has multiplied into a sprawling family tree. We can sort this family tree by looking at their shapes. The most common forms are simple spheres, tiny rods, and flexible corkscrew-like spirals. But some break those rules entirely. This source image shows unusual prokaryotes. In panel E, Walsby's square archaeon grows as a perfectly flat geometric tile. Panel D shows long, branching tubes called hyphae, proving these organisms take on any physical form necessary. Beyond their physical shapes, scientists divide all prokaryotes into two massive groups, bacteria and archaea. While they look similar on the outside, archaea build their cell walls using a different type of fat that has much stronger chemical bonds, preventing the cell from dissolving even in highly corrosive environments. That specialized chemistry, combined with their endless variety of shapes, explains how they manage to occupy almost every single microscopic environment on Earth. Take cyanobacteria. These green packets are packed with chlorophyll, functioning as tiny solar panels. They actually produced the oxygen that filled Earth's early atmosphere. This fossil shows concentric rings of ancient bacterial colonies, called a stromatolite, laid down over 1 billion years ago, providing physical proof of their reign. Other groups, like archaea, prefer extreme environments. You'll find them thriving in the acidic, boiling temperatures of geothermal hot springs, feeding directly off rich minerals. When things get truly desperate, like when food completely runs out, certain bacteria have a way to shut down and wait. They compress their DNA and build a thick, impenetrable shell around it. This is an endospore. It is a biological bunker that can sit dormant for centuries, surviving boiling water, toxic chemicals, and intense radiation until conditions improve. From harnessing the sun's energy to weathering centuries in a protective shell, these extreme adaptations prove that their lack of complexity is their greatest strength. They are built purely to endure. When we pull all the way back out from that complex family tree, shrinking our view down to a single tiny cell, it is easy to underestimate them, yet they are quietly running the global ecosystem. They break down dead material so plants can grow, they pull nitrogen from the air to enrich the soil, and billions of them are working inside your digestive system right now to process your food. They don't have a brain, they don't have a central nucleus, and they lack complex internal machinery. But by mastering the absolute basics of survival, these stripped-down survivors are the foundational engines that keep our entire planet alive.